Hello and welcome to this screencast on the Cognitive Area Booklet 2. This is for OCR A-Level Psychology, and as I say, we're going to be looking at the Cognitive Area Booklet 2. Remember Booklet 1, that was quite some time ago, wasn't it? That was looking at Loftus and Palmer and Grant et al, and the key theme there was memory. This time we're looking at two quite different studies, really. We're looking at a study by Moray, 1959, and that's looking at dichotic listening, and another very, very strange study, this one. Very quite memorable, though, I would say. Simons and Chabris, 1997 even. And that's you'll understand why we got the guy dressed in a gorilla suit when we come on to that. A key theme in this area is attention. Okay, I won't tell you anything more about the Simons and Chabris study for the moment, but we'll certainly look at the Moray study in a bit of detail today with regards to the background. So what I want to do in this really is to just go through the background task and to get you to actually look at these and to send me the work that you're doing on these. Okay, a particular task that I'm going to ask you to send to me. So so listen up. Okay, moving on then. Right, okay, let's just remind ourselves about the cognitive area then. So if you remember back to Loftus and Palmer and back to Grant, you should have a good idea about what the cognitive area is all about. So what are the assumptions of it? So I've given you a little bit of information here about it being a pure science. Okay, so that should help you with one of these. It's based mainly on laboratory experiments, so that again might help you on how it's investigated, etc. And also the sort of things that cognitive psychologists are interested in as well. So we're really talking about this whole sort of what's going on inside the brain, inside the mind, and that's really what we're interested in here. So do think about that when you're doing your assumptions. If you're not sure, either look it up or look back at the information that you had on the first booklet. Okay, so that's the first task then. What's cognitive psychology all about? Right, let's have a bit of a think about the key theme, which is on attention. And as I've said here, we can't pay attention to everything at once. Now, if you think about it, I mean, I know it's a long time since you've been sat in a classroom, but if you have lots and lots of information being thrown at you in a classroom, it's very difficult to actually pick out which particular thing is most important. Okay, well, that's just in a classroom. Just imagine in your everyday life, you go to the canteen at college, you go out to see friends, you know, all those different sort of things that we can't do at the moment, but we will be doing before too long. There's a lot of information being thrown at you, isn't there? There's the sound of people talking, there's the sound of the background noises, there's visual things that are happening all the time, people walking about, lights going on and off, you name it, there's all sorts of things going on, isn't there? If you think about it, it's absolutely impossible to pay attention to every single part of that. Yeah, the world around you, the vast majority of it is filtered out. And if you think about it, that makes a great deal of sense, doesn't it? Like I say, it's impossible to pay attention to all of it. You know, if we did pay attention to absolutely everything that was going on in our environment, we would become very, very quickly overwhelmed. Right now, being overwhelmed is not a great thing in terms of being able to survive on an evolutionary level. Because if you're overwhelmed, you're unable to actually deal with what's the most important thing at that moment, which might be a danger of some sort. Okay. So attention, we know, there seems to be an awful lot filtered out. However, there does seem to be a particular way in which you could break through the filter, which is known as the cocktail party effect. Okay, so this is from a chap called Colin Cherry. I don't know whether any of you have ever been to a cocktail party, but it's simply just a party for posh people, I guess. I don't know how you could describe it, really. It's a gathering of people, and lots of people together having a drink of some sort, I guess. It's just be the same in a pub or something like that, I suppose, really. But Colin Cherry, anyway, called it the cocktail party effect. And what he was pointing out was the fact that there is a particular way in which you can break through that block. No matter what's going on in the background, you can actually break through that block. And what I'd like you to do is to watch this little video here you can see there. Okay, can you click on that and watch that, and it will tell you all about, well, it'll tell you a little bit about the cocktail party effect. So if you want to find more about the cocktail party effect, then feel free to Google away on that one. But what I'd like you to do then is to just a little summary of what you've found out, what it is that's important there with regards to attention. So what is it that can actually break through that attentional block that we seem to have for the vast majority of stuff? Okay, right, so moving on from the idea of the cocktail party effect then, that in itself is just a little bit of anecdotal evidence, isn't it? Once you've watched the video, you'll know what I mean by that, okay? But what is it that Cherry did? What was his big contribution here? Well, as it says here, his great contribution to the research area was to find a way of studying the cocktail party effect experimentally, okay? So what he did was he invented this thing called a dichotic listening task, which is used by Moray in the core study. All right, so the participant's task is to focus on one of the messages presented to one ear and to repeat it. So what's going to happen here is you're going to have two different messages sent to, well, one message sent to the left ear and one message sent to the right ear. That's probably the easiest way to think about it. Okay, so you're going to shadow one of these messages. Okay, so in other words, you're going to pay attention to it, deliberately pay attention to it. And what you're going to do is you're going to reject the other message, right? So, you know, this is what he called the non-attended ear. This became the rejected message. So let's think about that. Say if you had information going to your left ear, okay, so someone talking or music or whatever it happens to be going to your left ear, and you were told, I want you to shadow that message, and what you would do is you would listen attentively to it, and then you'd repeat it, yeah? If you were rejecting the message, or rejecting the other message, go to your right ear, say, you would simply make a big effort not to listen to it, right? It's a lot easier to not listen to it than you think, in actual fact. What did Cherry find? He found that participants were almost completely unaware of the context of the rejected message. This information coming into that ear the whole time, people told not to listen to it, okay, and they were able to do that, right? Okay, so what I'd like you to do, please, could you take your phone or whatever you use there, click on that QR code there, and you will see that at great time and expense to myself, I have created a dichotic listening task for you, okay? So what I've got there is it's my voice. To be honest, it's very useful that it is the same voice each time, because obviously that would be another variable otherwise. You've got the sound of my voice going into your left ear. You've got the sound of my voice going into your right ear, right? And this is what I would like you to do. Okay, so we'll take you to the dichotic listening task. You'll need an audio device, which looks like it's spelled wrong, but I don't think it is, such as a mobile phone and a pair of headphones. The first message you hear will go to your left ear. Okay, so I've deliberately started the message for the left ear just a little bit earlier than the right ear. Okay, and what I want you to do is I want you to shadow that message. Now, in this particular case, I don't really want you to just talk at the same time and just repeat it. It's an awful lot of information there. Okay, I just want you to listen to it, just make it simpler. The next message you hear will be the rejected message. That's going to your right ear. Don't listen to it. Now, this isn't, I'm not doing this to sort of make you listen to that one. You know, it's not like, you know, don't do something and therefore you do. It's not that type of psychology. Just don't listen to it, okay? So shadow the left ear, don't shadow the right ear. The first message you hear will be the left ear, yeah? At the end of the recording, okay, there'll be some questions that you need to complete, okay? And these are the questions at the bottom. These aren't related to anything about psychology. They're just simply related to whatever's been going on in your left ear and your right ear, all right? Okay, don't look at the questions first. Turn away. Don't look at those. Okay, And what I'd like you then to do, once you've answered those questions, switch it over. So change over, shadow the right ear, and listen to it all and answer the questions again. Are you able to answer them this time? You should be able to, I think is the answer there. Okay. Right then, so hopefully you've not moved ahead too much in this video, and you've not seen what's coming next. But the background to the Moray study then. So just make sure you've read through this and you understand what's going on. So Cherry's method of shadowing one of two dichotic messages for this study of attention and listening found participants who shadowed a message presented to one ear were completely ignorant of the content of a message simultaneously presented to the other ear. Okay. Another bit of research as well that Moray used in order to actually do his studies, of which there are many. So this is a study with several experiments associated with it. So other researchers moved on from Cherry's work on how people can attend to one message by investigating why so little seems to be remembered about the other conversations. And the first study, okay, which is done by Moray in this very, very complex study. You'll get your head around it eventually, but it does take a bit of time. The first of the experiments in the study was to aim to test Cherry's findings more rigorously. Okay, so before this, they were pretty much anecdotal, weren't they? Okay, the second and third aim to investigate other factors that can affect attention in dichotic listening. Okay, so by the end of this lesson, I would like you please to have done all of the background and done the dichotic listening task. You will also see that I have sent you a short assignment to do. It's very, very easy. It's just to make sure that you've actually covered the information that I've gone through. Okay, can you please make sure that you send that at the end of the lesson? It'll take you 5 minutes maximum. Okay. Now, if you really, really want to, you can go on to do the summary of the Moray study, but I'm going to go through that in a little bit of detail in the next session. So if you want to hold on to them, you can do, not a problem at all. It's like I say, it's quite a complex one. It does take a little bit of time to get your head around. Okay, hope all that makes sense, and I shall see you soon.